Geeks Podcast Network is proud to have Fansets as its presenting sponsor. Fansets is the place for amazing pin collectibles with over 300 officially licensed Star Trek pins and new releases every month. Stay tuned for a special discount code good on your next order at fansets.com just for Discovering Trek listeners. Fansets, our pins have character.
Hey everyone, Kasey and Sarah here, and this is Discovering Trek Enterprise. Welcome to the First Frontier. We're both here to break down another episode of Enterprise. This is the first full series watch through for Sarah, and it's a rewatch for me. Today we're talking episode 6, Terra Nova. This episode originally aired 20 years ago, y'all. Sincerely, if you haven't watched it, what the devil's going on? Chop, chop, hubba, hubba, get to it. Fire up Paramount Plus, your Blu-rays, DVDs, or Amazon Prime. Watch the episode, and then haul your toots right back over here and listen to us. That's it. We hope you've enjoyed our non-warning, spoiler warning.
Dun, dun, dun. Before we discuss Terra Nova, we want to hear from our listeners about their thoughts on everything Enterprise. So, how can they get in touch with us for their thoughts on this first season of Star Trek Enterprise, Kasey?
Well, Sarah, if you're looking to communicate with us, there's a bunch of ways that you can do that. Of course, you can go to trekgeeks.com/contact and find a variety of ways to get us your thoughts. Heck, Twitter, Facebook, all you have to do is search for Discovering Trek. Heck, if you want, send a raven. Go for it. We welcome almost all of your questions and comments. Actually, we welcome them all. You can leave us a voicemail by visiting our website at trekgeeks.com and click on the big blue button. Remember, though, that any of your comments that you leave might be used in future episodes of Discovering Trek.
That is accurate. Everything you just said is truth. And I like that about this podcast. It's the truth. It's not our big red button. It's not a big orange button. It's a big blue button.
Blue.
Get it?
That's right.
All right. What are we going to do first here? How do we do this? It's been a couple of weeks. What is it? Pie? Are we talking about pie? Pizza pie?
Oh.
Meat pies? Fruit pies?
Let's talk about pies. Whenever pies come up, I always think Dutch apple. I don't know about you.
Whenever I hear the word pie, I think of like a berry pie, like a boysenberry, blackberry, or maybe a sour cherry, roddenberry.
Ooh, roddenberry.
Tangy.
Oh man. Okay, quick side trip here. So my aunt up in Fort Bragg, California, my dad and brothers and all of us would go berry picking. And then we'd bring them back, and Aunt Kathy would make the best Marionberry blackberry pies ever.
Oh.
And she knew how much I love them. So for everybody, there was one pie. And for me, there was one pie. And she would just squirrel mine to the side. And I loved her so much. I was like, oh, this is the best thing ever. So, berry pies. We need to eat more before we do these again. I tried to eat a lot beforehand, and every damn time I'm hungry.
I know. I had a nice big breakfast today because being a weekend, it's like, oh, this is a day where I can actually make like some bacon and eggs or something. And then I was so full. I was like, I'm taking the dog for a really big walk. I gotta walk this off. And so now I'm like, okay, well, I'm thinking about lunch for sure.
Okay.
It's in my mind.
So for you, Sarah, this episode, what you got for slices of pie?
I gave it a fair 4 out of 6. I thought that this was a pretty classic Trek episode. Like, it was quite predictable, but it was cozy in that sense. It was fine. It was enjoyable. A little bit above neutral,
Okay, there you go.
Side.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, I think I'm in full neutral. 3 slices. I agree with you. I didn't think there was anything special about the story. I did find the direction great. I did find on-location stuff quite fun. And good set and prop building.
Yeah.
So that kind of saved it for me.
Yeah.
But
That's
since, I think so. I think it's fair. And you know what might be fair?
What's that?
Middling, okay. The recap I'm about to give you.
Okay. I've been waiting for this. This is what I'm all about. I'm hoping the fans are getting into this thing we got going on here.
God, they better, because this is brutal every week.
Really?
Fans, this is just for you.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We open as Archer pours water, not iced tea. The crew discuss Terra Nova, a planetary mystery. They shuttle pod down to a settlement ghost town, searching for clues without a soul to be found. Malcolm walked the perimeter and sees a blur in the trees, a mysterious figure who quickly flees. Archer and Reed crawl into a winding dirt cavern. They find sections of tunnels, candle-lit like a tavern. They find food, tools, and have a first contact meeting, but the locals are wary and spray gunfire as a greeting. As they attempt to escape, poor Malcolm gets shot. The three others fly away in a firefight to advance the plot. On board with two Novans and looking for answers, Dr. Flux cures Nadette of her illness, nasty lung cancer. Malcolm tries some small talk with his guard trying to fit in. The Novan offers digger meat, which does not taste like chicken. Fox tells the captain the Novans have to move or they will die. Archer's not sure what to do, but gives it a good honest try. Trust is built through actions and old pictures found. The captain helps save a trapped Novan who surely would have drowned. The Novans have a new home in the southern continent, thanks to the Enterprise crew and the leadership of Bernadette. Back on ship, a meal is shared without a snide retort, and lucky old Travis gets to write up the report.
Wow. We're getting better at this.
I think so.
This is a thing, and, I like it. I think we should put the pressure on everybody on the Trek Geeks Network that they have to rhyme everything all the time.
Hey, no. Screw them. No. They can't steal our gig.
It's our thing.
That's right. Oh, my gosh.
That's a great one. I liked it. Thank you. Good recap.
Thank you. Right on. It was. I found writing the recap a little more entertaining than the episode itself.
That is fair. You get really creative with forcing rhymes sometimes. Like this, I'm going to make this word work if I say it a certain way.
Oh, that's all I was doing. I was like, okay, we'll figure it out. But oh man, when we're thinking about this, transporter thoughts here. What?
You go, because I got nothing.
You got nothing? Oh my!
I think I'll have some stuff once you get going. I think you'll make some good points.
Well, I think you had put some notes up in here, and I read them before. Archer pulling the big switcheroo when talking with T'Pol about the Novans. T'Pol makes like great points to Archer, and I don't know how to characterize this. If it's a flip-flop on his part, a being stubborn type thing, and then getting slapped in the face with a frying pan of like, you need to think here. Because if you go back and, rewatch this, when it's at time code 3149, Archer saying, what the hell? Do you think this is a slave ship? We can't relocate them by force. We need to convince them that returning to Earth is the right thing. And then T'Pol is like, are you certain it's the right thing? When you get them back to Earth, what will you do? Send them to school? Teach them to read and write? Wear human clothes? Eat human food? Teach them to survive on the surface? Enjoy the sunshine? And then Archer with this indignant when he gets confronted, you're damn straight. They're human beings. It's their birthright. It might take a while, but they'll adapt. And I was like, dude, you just said this isn't a slave ship, but they must come with us and conform.
And assimilate, yeah.
And let's, colonize them type of a thing.
Because that's worked out really, really well on Earth right now. Yeah, with these, indigenous communities that have been forced into schools and to, that's great. Let's keep doing that in the future. Love it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So
Yeah, I loved that scene.
it's really strong
It
because of T'Pol.
absolute. That's what I mean. It's like she calls him out and says it like it is with no sugarcoating, just like as a Vulcan would. Like, this is straight up my response to what you're saying. Take it
Mm-hmm.
as you will, but damn, she's right.
Oh, she's completely right.
It's brilliant.
And a part of it, I go, okay, good for the writing team on here that they have Archer recognize that
Hmm.
she's right, and to figure out a different way to go instead of like, hey, let's take them. It's like, what else can we do? Is there a
Hmm.
different solution
Hmm.
that we can come up with that will benefit the Novans without destroying their culture?
Totally.
You know,
Excellent points.
well, and
It's,
then when we're going through, I gotta say, really nice direction decisions by Mr. LeVar Burton here,
mhm. It
right?
stands out. It
Doesn't
stands
it?
out. He's so strong. And
Yeah,
oh,
we got different camera angles, pans and tilts, dissolves, things that are artistic.
hmm.
And I dug that. And you have a nice little homage to Dr. McCoy and a bicycle wheel. So everybody go back to your TOS, you'll find it. And I was like, you know what? This is cool where you can bring somebody back in
Hmm.
who starred in other Trek and directed other Trek and like knows what it takes to help the actors, but also to be able to make your day
Hmm.
and get what you need to get.
Hmm.
So I was digging that. And honestly, I was expecting at some point Entity from Thunderdome just to kind of show up because it was like, hey, we've got these awesome digger pseudo turtle armor stuff, and
Oh my gosh.
you know,
Yeah.
and there we go.
Yeah.
But I think you were right what you said earlier. Story wise, very
Yeah, I mean, maybe I gave it too many slices of pie now that I'm thinking about it, because as we discuss this, I haven't seen the episode in a couple of weeks now, and I'm not remembering anything. So it's not exactly a memorable episode, but it doesn't really need to be to still be a good episode, because I still find that this to be very, very classic Trek of the here we are coming to a planet, and there's a mystery, and there's people here that want to be here. I mean, how many times have we seen this throughout Star Trek about the
yeah,
forced relocation or the discussion of it, or the lost colonies or lost civilizations of people that have gone a different path than what was intended. It's a very, but because Enterprise is so different, I think it was a very like cozy sweater of an episode for fans of Trek. It's a very
mm-hmm.
relatable, predictable, but still like strongly making an excellent point. And they did it well. Again, I think that they did it quite well. And LeVar Burton did his part to
LeVar,
capture that. Is there
absolutely.
anything that man can't do?
No, he's
He is
freaking
a
awesome,
treasure.
right?
Oh, I love him. I love him. Haley and
Reading
I
right.
went on a rant on our most recent episode of Rewind about, like, can we just have breakfast with LeVar Burton, please? Like, he just seems like a fun guy who would cheer you up in the morning, get you going on a great day. He's got lots to say. He's got a great disposition.
Right? Smart as hell. And
Oh,
it's
love
like,
him.
yeah, I would love to spend some time with Mr. Reading Rainbow, who
Yeah.
influenced a ton of peeps.
Yeah.
Well, I hear you. Also on this episode, everything that you just said was so dead on. We've been there, we've seen it. So yeah, it was comfortable, but like you said, not extremely memorable
Hmm.
writing
But that's
wise,
okay.
which is fine. You're gonna have
Because
those.
because if you forget all about it, then it's a nice remembering when you watch it again.
That's true. You know what you'll never forget though,
What's
Sarah?
that?
Fan sets,
Oh my God.
right?
Never forget.
So I gotta say, Discovering Trek listeners, this is the time right now where we're going to thank our friends over at Fansets for being the exclusive sponsor on Discovering Trek. They're always working to put out the best product available and continue to surprise us with new designs and product releases. There are more great new products out right now. You got the Horgon pin. You got pins from all the different series. I was actually going through my stuff today, making sure that I've got all the crews going on. And I got one or two that I missed. Got to get a Nurse Chapel that I'd missed. A couple Discovery peeps. So I'm going to be ordering that this week.
Do it.
But, oh, man. But stuff like that, series, Picard, all of it. Tons of Trek stuff. And things like Scooby-Doo, Batman 66, Big Bang Theory, bunch of others. There are tons of pins and accessories for you at fansets.com. So boot up the internet, use your back computer to navigate to their website, browse, obsess, and then load up your cart and enter the special code word Discovering Trek in all caps, no spaces, at checkout for an amazing 10% off your entire order. And don't forget, if you're in the US and spend more than $30, you also get free shipping.
Yeah, you do. Fansets. Our pins have character, and we thank our friends at Fansets for being the presenting sponsor of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network.
Is that? You smell that? Oh, Sarah, I think Jeff's making some pie.
Smells like pure gasoline. What's going on?
Gasoline pie. It's my favorite.
You can hear the truck revving in the background of this recording. That's why I said what I said. Somebody just fired up the big truck. My goodness.
Baby.
I'm trying to record a world-renowned podcast here in the basement.
Firing up the truck to get to Chef's special of the day.
Yeah, it's almost lunchtime.
I would do that too.
Right.
Oh my gosh. All right. So some thoughts I want to share with you and check in with you here, Sarah.
Bring it on.
What could be more special than having previous Trek cast members come back to direct?
I can't think of anything that would be more special.
Okay, right on. Because I was thinking about that too. And seriously, like in Trek history, to just name a few, we've had Roxanne Dawson, Gates McFadden, Avery Brooks, even like Andrew Robinson, and of course Frakes, a ton of other cast members direct. And boy, what an amazing insight these people have to be able to work both sides of the camera. And they do it. And then LeVar Burton, who directed this episode, I checked it out. He has directed 28 episodes of Trek.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So stuff from TNG, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise. I mean, I'm not going to read the whole list here, but there's things you're like, oh, wow, Second Chances, The Pegasus, Sword of Kahless, Bar Association, Rules of Engagement, To the Death, Emperor's New Cloak, Dreadnought, The Raven,
You too?
Yeah, see?
What?
I mean, just awesome stuff. First Flight. I mean, when I thought about this, I wondered why there aren't more existing shows that have a rich history, why they don't bring back in or develop their own talent in-house and have, like a director, mentor, and internship program for the actors to be able to do this. Because you got to think, if a series is going on 4, 5, 6, 7+ years, that the insight of these people and with them acting on, let's say, those sets day in and day out, would be able to bring fresh, different ideas while still holding really true what the core of that series is.
That's a really good point, because, as you're talking about this, I started thinking in my mind of different types of TV worlds that could apply this, because I find that what the big trend is that certain producers or writers or creators will have their troupe of actors that you see throughout, like the people who do the American Horror Story movies use the same actors as different characters, right? And or you look at somebody like Kurt Sutter, who wrote on The Shield and then worked on Sons of Anarchy, and you see the bleeding over of actors from those, or in the world of Dick Wolf with the Law and Orders, and then Oz. And like, you can tell when a writer moves from one series to another because you see their favorite actors that they like to write for. But with the directing thing, I don't see it as much. Now, I don't also know, I haven't really looked into it, but like something like The Walking Dead, where you've had 10 seasons and now 2 spinoffs. Yeah. I'd be curious to look into it to see how many people that wanted to had the opportunity to come back because they left back in season 2 and direct a future episode, because they bring with them such an interesting perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I would also think for series that go long term, to keep your main cast interested is to give them other opportunities. So it's like if their acting muscle is very strong and they want to then exercise and build directing or writing muscles, like, give them that opportunity. And I think part of what semi saves this episode is really LeVar Burton. And if it had been a different director, then maybe it would have been even a harder time lifting this material up as much as possible.
Very good point. I like that. That's a really interesting chef special. Something different, but a really good point and something to now pay attention to, because it's got me thinking. And I'm such a fan of so many different genres of TV, and I kind of want to do a little digging now to see who's maybe directed that I didn't know.
There you go. There you go. And people could just really, if they're going through their rewatches for a bunch of other Trek stuff, pay attention. Yeah. Pay attention to the credits and see who is directing these things. And I know some people won't be surprised at all because they've been checking things out hardcore, but I think other people will start to see things maybe a little differently. And that'd be cool.
Totally.
Give it a go.
I like it.
My goodness. My tum is full.
I need a nap. All right. Well, that does it on our coverage on episode 6, Terra Nova. We will be back next time chatting about episode 7, the Andorian Incident, as we continue to celebrate the 20th anniversary year of Enterprise. Until then, remember that you can subscribe to Discovering Trek by searching for us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or by heading to discoveringtrek.com. Where can our fantastic listeners find us on social media, Kasey?
Well, during the fall, I'm usually on the tweeters, Kasey, Shafsy, on the tweets, and, every now and again on Facebook in the Camp Kittimer.
Cool.
How about you?
Just on Twitter. I'm there. Trek Rewind.
Cool. Right on. So if you all want to get a hold of us, get a hold of us. And if you are enjoying what we're doing here on Discovering Trek and the Trek Geeks Podcast Network, please consider supporting us on Patreon. As a subscriber, you can get access to the unedited recordings of episodes, as well as exclusive content and great subscriber rewards, like our annual supporters pin from Fansets and our exclusive Trek Geeks Podcast Network t-shirt. We'd like to take a moment to recognize the following amazing producers of Discovering Trek. We are incredibly thankful for their support. Mike Bovia, Chaz Bradshaw, Kyle Castillo, Peter Craig, Craig Ewing, Jackie and Chris Hackney, Kimberly Hartman, David Hood, Leonel Marchand, Matt McGonigal, Jim McMahon, Darren Metcalf, Charlie Mulvey, Sean O'Halloran, Jamie Rogers, Chris Trebuzio, Ken Tripp, Christina Werther, Jess Vashon, and the senior producer of Discovering Trek, Jude Tatman. If you'd like to become a producer of Discovering Trek, or even get access to the raw audio, because we are awesome in the raw. Oh my God. For Discovering Trek episodes, head on over to patreon.com/TrekGeeks for all the details. Until we see each other on the other side, to the beam out.
Music for Discovering Trek is provided by 5 Year Mission. They're writing an original song for each episode of Star Trek. Hear more of their music at 5yearmission.net. Discovering Trek is a production of Coconut Media Works. Executive producers Bill Smith and Dan Davidson. For more great Star Trek discussion, discover the other shows of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network at trekgeeks.com or find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.